Hello, welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to show your friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. Welcome to the last normal episode of 2021. I hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about the Game Awards. We're recording this before it. I'm not even going to lie about it. So hopefully it was good. Oh well. Next week, just housekeeping real quick, just to clarify again, next week's episode will be our extended director's cut version of our Audio Technica collaboration PAX Online 2021 podcast. But otherwise, this is your final Arcade Couch for the year.
Listen, I hope that's the title of the episode. That entire thing you said.
I have no idea what I'm calling it. I have no idea what I'm calling this. I have no idea what I'm calling anything until I'm literally in there.
You open up Squarespace.
Yeah. Upload the episode.
Yeah, put a title in.
Yeah. That's the voice of Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan. Excited to be here to talk about games for next year.
Yes.
Spoilers. Well, I guess you probably put that in the title of this episode, so it maybe won't be too much of a surprise. But
no, I believe that will be in some form part of the title. Also, here, Karen Munchin.
You know what's going to be hilarious, right? When we start talking about games for next year, and in our list, there'll be something that gets talked about at the Game Awards, and it'll get at the Game Awards, it'll get moved to 2023.
No. It'll get a massive trailer and be like, hey, you remember this small game that, it's nobody's really remembers, but I'm excited about it and want to bring it up and highlight it in this thing, and then it's going to get a massive trailer in the Game Awards.
There's one or two games I know in my anticipated list that I'm I know there's going to be a trailer. I hope I don't sound like an idiot when I talk about Magic Legends this week, because I really think that it's going to have a great showing at the Video Game Awards.
I think if you go watch that video back from the thing, I wasn't 100% sure, but I reckon if you watch, because in my brain I'm like, I thought that was, but I was like, I'll just go with it. Maybe he's right. I know what I'm talking about, but I reckon you'd be able to see my face give one of those but whatever.
No. As I was pointed out on my Twitter, that game's been cancelled. So, as my Twitter bio banner says, resident prediction loser.
Continues to be
living up to my name already.
As long as you continue to lose, you'll never have to change your bio. At least there's less work for you to do.
Exactly. So, easy as shit. So easy.
Yeah, so I nearly was going to be... So I did think about this at some stage last week. I was like, actually, maybe it would be better to wait till the Game Awards. But then I'm like, if we do the Game Awards, then are we just going to make a list full of, recency biasy stuff? Yeah. So doing it prior at least has the thing of, all right, here's the stuff that you're actually excited about without having had a big trailer event recently. So you actually had to, think about it. How have you done yours? I, being me, have actually done a list that's ordered, because that's how I like to do my things, of course. I assume you two have just got a list, just in any order?
Listen, all I did is I went through Wikipedia, checked all the games for next year, picked and pulled, and then doubled back and went through my Steam wish list in case there's any indie games that, put on there.
See, this man's he's a thinker,
For so once, it's just been in whatever order I happen to come across.
So I've got a top.
The only importance about my list is the first one. Everything else is up for
you
picking. You
cannot say Final Fantasy 10 times.
Fuck.
Yes. So I have a top 10 ordered from 10 to 1, and then I've got some honorable mentions. Of which there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 of those as well. So, let's start with you, Kieran. Pull out what is the game you're excited to play in 2022?
Tiny Tina Wonderlands. For anyone who doesn't know, Tiny Tina Wonderlands is from the Borderlands universe, and it features Tiny Tina, one of my favorite characters from Borderlands, as well as the Tiny Tina had a DLC back on Borderlands 2 that was like a D&D game, and it was pretty hilarious, to be perfectly honest, and her sense of humor really carried and had effect in the Borderlands kind of world where it was a little bit more free-moving, not as much. I'm really hoping this game can be great without a lot of the stuff that happened in Borderlands 3 that turned me off that game. I think Borderlands 3 kind of had the Rick and Morty effect where it got a little bit too self-aware and it started kind of putting too self-aware plot lines and the whole, commentary on streamers and people watching streamers and everything that was happening in Borderlands. Was not a big fan of it. I think it was overdone. So I'm really hoping this is a foray back into the fantastic writing skills of the guys at 2K. And just a great Borderlands experience featuring some of the funniest, if not the funniest characters in Borderlands.
Anyone else keen for this? Ash?
Yeah, it was on my list as well. So yeah, I'm very keen. Even though I'm not a big Borderlands fan, this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like mashing Borderlands with like a fantasy aesthetic, and then a bunch of like reasonably big name actors attached as well. Lending their voices to whatever craziness Tiny Tina is going to put these people to. I mean, yeah.
I can't wait till Kevin Hart appears as Roland. That's going to be good.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. But I know it was announced at the Game Awards, but Chris Pratt being the villain of the game, it's like pretty big deal.
Chris Pratt is the perfect handsome Jack. It's going to be excellent.
What is your first pick, Ash?
I'm going to go with, for the first pick, Horizon Forbidden West. Obviously, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. It'll be like almost 5 years since we got to play that original game when it comes out. So it'd be cool to like jump back in and like play as Aloy, tame robot creatures, fight robot creatures. It'd be interesting to see how they tackle the story where, the previous entry was like very heavily focused on the old world and what the mystery of what happened to the old world and how the world came to be run by all these crazy robot animals and that kind of stuff. So what kind of story they kind of tackle with this and like how much what characters come back and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really keen. And it looks like everything's kind of been improved from that first game. So,
Karen, excited for Horizon? Or?
I am. I've actually still not finished the original game. The last time I left Horizon was literally at the cutoff point of the game where it's like, stop. Before you continue on to this point of the game, finish off any other side stuff you've got because you're going into the end of the game. And I haven't been back to it. Because some reason I tricked myself into being like, yeah, I'm going to do the side stuff. No, but I am excited for it. I still think it looks really good. I really do like the Horizon world and its setup, so I'm excited to see how it kind of keeps moving forward within this kind of new foray into another section of the world.
Yeah, this is on my list. Well, it's weird to say because, like, I mean, that
is it numbered?
Yeah, well, I'll just review. I'll just go so I don't lose my place. I'll just say when I get to it and I'll skip it. But I'm excited for this. It's probably I'm more excited for this than God of War if I had to pick my sort of like between the two PlayStation exclusives. I like Aloy is a lot more just interesting character, and I'm hoping because like I wasn't like Horizon Forbidden Dawn 10 out of 10. I was more around like that, probably 8.85 or like whatever, because I just felt like there were some issues with the exploration and some of that sort of stuff, and like some technical things that like I presume are just going to be fixed. Like this is going to run at 60 presumably, or at least have an option for 60, and that'll help a lot with some of that sort of stuff. But very beautiful world. The lore is interesting, and I'm hoping they can like a lot. When it comes to this game, I feel like a lot lies on it to have the lore actually sort of come together, because by the time you reach the end of the first game, you're like, yep. I don't understand what the fuck is happening anymore. Like you reach a degree where it's just like, cool, yeah, that's like totally, yep, clone something. Like I would struggle to understand, like I'll have to do some sort of recap. And, like the game's old, so it's like, I don't feel like I have to dodge spoilers at this stage, but you know, you go when you're discovering that Aloy is like a clone of like this human thing or whatever.
Dylan, Kieran hasn't finished the game.
He ain't finishing that fucking game.
I'm not listening right now. You guys really think I'm listening?
You learn all this sort of shit, and then the other bad guy, whatever his name is played by that actor from
Lance
that thing.
Reddick.
Yeah, Lance Reddick then takes off, and he's like, you know, there was a lot. So it definitely, I feel like I remember stuff from that story, but I'm really relying on this game to sort of be like, all right,
here's a recap.
Here's like a recap, or like here we're gonna make some of that wild shit from the last like hour of the game actually sort of make a bit more sense. But obviously, the thing I'm looking most forward to is just the stuff that was most exciting about the game in the first place, which was the world, the design of the dino creature things, and that combat, which, you know, you always had to be changing out the bow types and the enemy weaknesses and all that sort of stuff. And this game has water; it looks beautiful, so definitely excited to play Horizon Forbidden West. It is not 10 though in my list. So number 10 in my list is actually Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. So this is like one of my most, I guess, trepidatious things I'm keen for next year, because I love all of Rocksteady's Batman games. Mm-hmm. However, this game, we still haven't seen actual gameplay. Still don't fully understand what you'll be doing moment to moment. How you'll actually be playing it when you have a controller in your hand. I like all the characters. I like Suicide Squad. I like the general story that's been set up here with Brainiac basically controlling everyone, and that's why you've got to take out Suicide Squad, because, you know, Superman.
Take out the Justice League.
Take out the Justice League. I like all of that. However, everything I've seen so far, I'm still left confused.
Well, there's been 2 trailers.
Yeah, out of the 2 trailers, I'm just still left confused. So my hype for it is mostly riding
2
on...
2 trailers at time of recording.
Yeah, that's true. Game Watch, yeah. So my interest in it is a lot, and my putting it on this list is mostly to do with the fact that I have a lot of faith in the developer, I guess, and which is fair. I don't think Rocksteady's like done anything not to, you know, like I liked Arkham Knight
right.
as well as, and I didn't hate the driving stuff as much as other people. So I'm like a lot higher than that developer than maybe some other people, but yeah, I'm keen. Sheem, Ash, are excited for this?
Yeah, it's on my list. Definitely keen. Super excited. Great voice. Like, it looks like a really interesting story at the very least. But yeah, like, we don't know how you're going to play the game. Of course, we believe it's going to be 4-player co-op potentially if you want it to be. But then how are each of the Suicide Squad members going to handle and that kind of stuff? It's like a lot of questions and not many answers so far. Like I said, we've only seen 2 trailers for the game. No gameplay yet. As of recording. No gameplay as of recording. So yeah. I'm definitely keen, obviously. You know, Rocksteady had great pedigree so far, so.
Kieran, are you excited for Killing the Justice League?
I'm a bit more trepidatious on Justice League, just for the fact of
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, you know, it's all over the place. Just for the case of wanting to work out and understand a little bit more about what exactly is going on, working a bit more on the gameplay and seeing just where that is going, because I think it's an interesting setup. I just need to see the gameplay behind it. I think to see how these characters are going to fight the Justice League, where the Justice League is a much more like either well-powered or superiorly powered group of people compared to the characters that we've seen so far. So I'm interested to see how that comes around. I'm trepidatious. I'm hoping at the Game Awards we see a gameplay trailer. But yeah, it's on the fence with it a little bit more than I guess you two
are. What is your next pick?
My next pick, I think, sticking with this and where we were with Suicide Squad, I'm going to go to Gotham Knights. I think this is the game I am more excited for, just because of my own personal love of the Court of Owls storyline from Batman. I think the trailers that we have seen, despite, you know, how much their social media strategy angered me a couple years ago now, but I think it's in a good place. I'm excited for the characters they're bringing, the story they're going to tell, and I like the gameplay that was seen of it. I'm excited to see more of it. I'm excited to get into that story, see a modern day take on Court of Owls in a video game universe. It's been a while since I played since Arkham Knight now, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the driving in Arkham Knight, but I am excited to go back to a similar style story and writing for that universe. Gotham Knights.
Ash, I presume this is on your list too?
Yeah, it's on my list. Very keen, love the Court of Owls. And the whole Bat family, I think, is really enjoyable, and all the different characters and quirks between them all. But obviously we haven't seen much gameplay again. It's kind of like Justice League, Suicide Squad.
Even you
don't know how the moment. Yeah, even I did it. We don't know what the moment-to-moment gameplay is going to look like, or how yet, or what what exactly you're going to be doing, other than obviously the creepy vibe and the Talons and the Court of Owls and everything. So yeah, I'm definitely very keen. Any Batman game is going to get me excited.
Isn't it wild you could have two DC Batman related DC games and then a Batman movie next year?
Yeah.
It's fucking insanity.
Everything's coming up, Batman.
Yeah, I know, right? What's your next pick, Ash?
I'm going to finish out the superhero train. I'm going to go with Marvel's Midnight Suns. So obviously this is the Fire Axis tactical role-playing game that got delayed to Q3, I think, next year. But this looks really cool. Obviously, Fire Axis, the team behind XCOM, seems very different to every other Marvel game that they've put out so far. Lots of interesting, quirky characters from the Marvel pantheon that probably a lot of people wouldn't have seen, including you get to build your own superhero. I'm very interested in seeing what they can do with this in this format and that kind of stuff, and how well the storytelling is going to go with these. Obviously you have all these missions in between, and how close to XCOM kind of it is. Obviously it's going to be fairly different, but I'm pretty keen for this one.
I'd say this isn't anywhere in my top 10, but it's definitely the Marvel game I'm most excited for, because it's using a bunch of characters that don't have a lot of use in MCU or spin-off shows or whatever. They're just not whereas a lot of the other games we've got so far, between Avengers and Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all very popular, whereas this seems to include a lot more B-team characters, which is a little bit more interesting to me at this stage. Who's that yours? All right, my pick number 9th on my list is Cult of the Lamb. Why are you shaking your head like that?
It's on my large list. So yeah.
Your large list.
His large list.
So this is a game that was technically, again, I think I told the story. It's just funny to say anyway. Played this at PAX years ago when PAX was the thing that we could attend, and then it was announced officially at Opening Night Live during what the fuck's that thing called? Gamescom. And it's a combination of the cute art style that you would have seen in Adventure Pals, and combined with a more gruesome gameplay thing where you're taking down monsters and then gathering people and sacrifice thing, and it's like a hack and slash exploration game where you're building up a base, setting up the village, and everyone starts to pray to you instead of, I don't know, Jeebus or something. So it's a cult of the lamb. You're the lamb.
Yeah.
You start a cult. I don't know. It's all in the title. Anyway, between the art style and the gameplay and just the having played it, and then the developer being fucking mental blanking on their name now.
Massive Monster.
Massive Monster. That's it. Yeah. Being a fan of everything they've worked on so far. So this I'm very, very keen for, and definitely something I'm looking for. So you're looking forward to this too? Ash, you said it was on your big list.
It's on my I've got a lot of games on the list. Really cute art style. It looks like it obviously one of my favorite games I played the most is like Binding of Isaac. It definitely gives those sort of vibes. But then it's got this base building element, it looks like, as well. So, yeah, looks really good. Definitely keen. Hopefully sooner in 2022, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And Australian as well. So, I don't know how many Australian games we've got on our list. So.
Once, I don't remember if I've got something else here. There's maybe my honorable mentions. Kieran, what is your next game?
Next, let's go with hopefully either the full release or more patch content for Baldurs Gate 3. I've been playing Baldurs Gate on and off with a friend for the last couple of months. I think the content that is there is fantastic. The elements they're adding, they're consistently adding new classes, bringing in new features into the story that's already there. I'm excited to see them either release the next large segment of that game or, do the full shebang and do a full release of the game.
Is it? I think it's still Act 1 or the released?
It's still Act 1, yes. They haven't gone any further than that.
They've just introduced classes as the main.
They've just introduced classes. I think they added the Underdark as an area. I can't quite remember if that was in there originally. But it is definitely, I hope for them to add more to this game because its overall character design, its ability to customize and play the game however you want it, just like an actual D&D game. It is the closest thing to playing D&D there is. So, like for video games, if not actually playing D&D. So I'm really excited. I really do hope they bring out either more or there's more of a better roadmap kind of release for it. But yeah, Baldur's Gate is still fantastic. It's just I hope it's not trapped in the ever-ending existence of early access.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said when they announced it, it'll take like a couple of years, so to get out of early access. So I think they did.
I'm excited for it, but I didn't put it on my list because I don't think it's going to full release this year.
Yeah, that's why I hedge my bets by saying all more content. Because at least I think adding it bit by bit, even if you're playing it bit by bit, I still don't think that will scare people off from playing it again when the full game is released eventually.
What's next?
Just play it differently.
What's next on your list, Ash?
Is an easy one. God of War Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. Of course, the other big PlayStation exclusive this year. Continue the story of Kratos and the boy.
I believe his name's Atreus, but
Atreus, yeah. Or spoilers, Loki.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously, jumping across.
Another game I haven't finished.
Is it really? Oh my god.
Yeah, I still haven't gone back to it. I need to.
You deserve to have every game.
Wow. Yeah, you deserve. Well, guess what? They're going to run into Thor, so it's yeah, I'm super keen for this. Obviously, the first game was really good. Sure, I might not have loved it as much as some other people who have gotten like their bodies tattooed with God of War stuff or like put axes through their PlayStations. But I'm definitely excited for Ragnarok to see what they do, how they finish this saga, this Norse saga.
It's 2-game saga.
Yes.
Which will never not be funny to me. I did have God of War Ragnarok on my honorable mentions. It's still a game I'm, of course, keen to play. It's just not something I'm super excited about. Like, I definitely enjoyed playing the first one, but yeah, I definitely wasn't head over heels in love with it, especially because the fucking trolls done my head in and I got so sick of them. So just go away. My number 8 on my list is Tunic. So a game that's been coming for 10 million years at this stage. A game that I've played several different demos of at this stage. A game that is just Zelda, but you're a wolf. A fox, sorry.
Fox.
Fucking,
whoa.
I was looking at something else at the same time. It's literally just Zelda, but you're a fox.
Fox.
And you get swords and open chests and get shields and all that sort of stuff. Like it wears its inspiration on its sleeve. It's fine because it plays really, really well. It's really pretty to look at. Has great character designs. Everything about it is super interesting, super fun. So, being keen for this one for a while. Almost tempted not to put it on the list solely because I don't know if I haven't gone back and listened, but I feel like we did one of these last year, I would have mentioned Tunic then. So, but yeah, Tunic again enters the list of games. Are you excited for this one, Ash? Or
yeah, I mean, sure, it's been forever since we've seen it the first time. So, I mean, and is he like cautiously wary whether it's actually going to release in 2022 as well?
I mean, it's one developer. So like it's hard to.
It's hard to fault, but you know, it has been a while. So yeah, I'm keen. You know, it looks pretty. It was fun to play. Yeah. Okay. It scratches that Zelda itch, I'm sure, for people. Because they're probably not going to get Zelda next year.
Unless a trailer was shown at the Game Awards.
Yeah, unless the trailer was shown at the Game Awards.
Karen, what's your next pick?
I'm going to go with the... coming off the back of how disappointing the GTA trilogy remaster was, I'm really looking forward to Saints Row. I think Saints Row fills the urge that I was hoping maybe it would eventually be filled by that GTA remaster of just a open world game, the same style as GTA or Saints Row, that's just not as... that is in like a happy medium point between Saints Row of old and GTA currently. Something that's not as serious, that is still over the top and fun, but not to the point where you are the president of the United States being trapped in an alien spaceship, trying to do a bunch of weird superhero-based missions. That was
well, apparently they're toning this one down a lot. So
yes, everything I saw in the initial trailer that was released did seem
they made
like
it younger and hipper,
much younger, much hipper. So no, I'm really excited for that game. I really hope that it does bring out that kind of more relaxed but fun, story-driven open world game, and I hope that it is launched next year.
Did you have this on your list at all, Ash?
Yeah, I would like. It's pretty low, but keen to check it out. Obviously, never played a Saints Row before, so but it looks like it'd be a fun co-op experience from the look of it. If it's a co-op experience, I don't know. The trailer was fun. The trailer was fun, so it's like, yeah.
What's next on your actual list?
I'm gonna go with Sifu. Obviously, a game that's been delayed a lot. But the
it actually got moved forward by 2 weeks.
It did get moved forward, just from the team that brought us Absolver, which was a game that was interesting. Interesting ideas and like concepts. It feels like it's going to be like a full kung fu movie type game, where almost like The Raid, maybe, where you're just fighting constantly all the time, hand-to-hand combat, beating people up, using whatever weapons you can pick up around you, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I have this in my honorable mentions. I want to play it. I just have a fear that I'll be terrible at it. And it'll be really hard because that's how Absolver was. So, like, I'm not good at fighting games. Like, when they involve having to, like, I can get down a block of parry, all that sort of stuff. Like, I can get your soul system down, whatever. But when it's like block parry, then remember to press circle, triangle, ups, downs, square, X, delay for 2 seconds, then press square to do like we're getting into proper fighting game stuff, and that's when I start to get like, this isn't really my type of thing. The game itself, the genre, and doing a full kung fu fight movie thing or whatever, totally about that. But yeah, I am just a little bit wary about, like, I don't want to get myself too excited. Just so
you're worried that you're going to suck at it.
Yeah, like I don't want to play it and then be like really struggle through it and just not enjoy it as much as other people.
Well, hopefully it's not a Souls game, so they'll probably have difficulties.
True. Hopefully. I can hope. What are we up to? 7. Number 7 on my list, Pokemon Legends Arceus or Arceus, or however the fuck we're saying it. I still am not 100% sure.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. But obviously the Pokemon game that's set during the... What do you call this period? In like real life, feudal Japan? No, like
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
feudal Japan would be.
Yeah, like that equivalent, but in the Pokemon term. So, you're throwing like the first versions of Pokeballs, you're doing the first version of the Pokedex, you have like this very Monster Hunter inspired design as far as I'm concerned, where you've got these little different biomes that you head out in to track down and capture Pokemon, and they're in the wild. Like it's not the Breath of the Wild Pokemon that everyone wants. I understand that. However, as someone who's just like, I just want Pokemon to start trying new things. I don't like, maybe this isn't all hits. Maybe there are some things here that don't work, but at least it's something different from Game Freak. And they're sort of like, this is their next, their next main Pokemon game. So I think that's super interesting. And there's a lot of interesting lore things and whatever else. So yeah, I'm definitely keen to see how this all comes together in the final product. Anyone else excited or keen on this at all? Or?
I'm excited to see how it's received and how the reaction to it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like,
I think I'm in the same boat as that one.
It's like, yeah, let's see how this goes. Because obviously certain people have like very high expectations of what they want this kind of game to be.
I feel like anyone who, again, I feel like there are just some people who are expecting this to be, it'll be too much.
It'll be completely blow Pokemon upside down like you've never seen them before. This is going to change everything.
I think it does matter how much they manage expectations prior to its release in terms of fully showing off the game, showing off more gameplay, making sure as many people are across it. Because no matter what, you're going to get people that are pissed because they're like going into it thinking they're getting Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
Why can't I just walk up this mountain?
It's literally out in a couple weeks, so I mean, kind of.
It is, and I still think there isn't really enough out.
And I feel like I haven't heard about it in.
Well, the last trailer, the one it's like nearly 4 minutes long, was from a couple months back. I don't know. Actually, I can see. It was from August, so it was a while ago actually. But it's a 4-minute trailer, and it is old gameplay. Like you do see nothing but gameplay in that trailer. There's a cinematic at the end or whatever, but otherwise it does show you. Compared to the first trailer, which was a lot of like sort of just sweeping shots and not like showing you what you'll actually be doing. So there is gameplay out there you can see. I'm sure they'll show something else before release because I want to get people again excited in the lead up to its release because it is coming out 18th of, is it 18th? I think it's the 18th of January. I can't find it. I can't find the answer quick enough. It's mid-January, whenever it is. But yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus is my pick. I hope it's my expectations are I hope it's different enough, had some cool ideas, and then they can do Pokemon Legends, whatever the next one is, and build upon that. I hope that's an interesting direction to take Pokemon. Kieran, what's your next pick?
Next, let's go with. You know what? I reckon let's go with the massive one, probably the most anticipated game, once again, as it was last year for the Game Awards, is Elden Ring. It is breathing down our necks. It, I think, is striking a lot more people and opening up a lot more possibilities for people to jump into this game. I think there is a lot to show from Elden Ring, not only in the narrative sense of its writing and actually kind of maybe bringing a bit more of a fulfilled story than the Dark Souls and Dark Souls especially story and narrative, but then also bringing a more accessible game. I think not only the gameplay in general, hopefully is a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more kind of the floor is a little bit lower so people can join and play this game, but still have that same kind of difficulty spikes as your Dark Souls, as your Bloodborns, and then also have accessibility in the game, have difficulty options, have a range of settings to help people. I'm really excited for this game. I hope that it lives up to its hype and lives up to the potential, especially with, having that good old George R.R. Martin name slapped on it. I'm hoping for big things out of Elden Ring, which I do suppose most people are at this point.
Yeah, Elden Ring is definitely on my list. It is, I like most of Souls games from Software's games, so that I've played. But this one just looks to combine a lot of the elements of everything they've done so far in a big open world with a story that you're supposed to care a little bit more about, with maybe it's not fully told in a super makes sense heaps way, but as long as there's some sense of why you're doing what you is, that's more story than you usually get in those sort of games. So that'll be good. From everyone's previews, hands-on stuff they did like a month or two ago, whenever they did that, everyone got to play it for hours and hours. They couldn't believe how much content they were given access to in that build. So I think they're pretty confident in what's happening so far, and everyone was speaking highly of it, saying that you can grind if you're having issues, which is there was no difficulty options in that, which is the thing, but you could grind out for bosses, you could grind out for items, you could choose to do all the bosses with co-op partners to make them easier. You can choose to solo them if you want to. You can choose to ignore the really ultra hard side mission bosses and just main path it if there's because it's an open world, because there's some of the open world structure, there just appears to be a lot more wiggle room here for how you want to play, instead of like there's a boss in your path, you can't get to the next area until you beat it, so be old champ sort of thing. So definitely one of my most anticipated games of 2022 as well. And another one that's actually bright and early at the start of the year. What's its release date?
It's February.
Yeah, February 25th. There we go. February 25th. So not that long to go either. I will presume that we would have seen a trailer for this at the Game Awards. I'll be surprised if there isn't one there, to be honest, at this stage. I feel like Jeff has sort of owned that, or gets to own the promotional marketing for that game a bit now, so I would presume we get to see one of the Game Awards. Ash, what's your next pick?
My next pick, Forspoken. Obviously, the new Luminous Productions game for Square Enix. It seems like a big fantasy epic, the big Project Athia game. You look at all the names that are attached to the writing team: Gary Whitta, Amy Hennig, Alison Reimer, Todd Staswich, music by Ben McCreary and Gary Sharman. I think that it looks interesting. Al Belinsky is the main character. Interesting big world, very bit of departure from Final Fantasy, but it looks like it'll be fun to move around in and fight giant dragons.
Yeah, I'm super keen on this because of the talent involved, not because of anything we've seen so far, which I think is probably a lot of people's. Not to say the gameplay we've seen looks bad, but because it's just a lot of weird glimpses of basically.
We haven't seen much yet.
Yeah, it's like someone just running around mostly is what you've seen. Little glimpses of combat, but it's mostly just people jumping around an open world or whatever, which is cool. But I am excited for this as well, definitely because of the talent involved. All right, my pick for number 6, sorry. No, skipping ahead. My number 6 on my list is Track to Yomi, which is one we've only seen one trailer for so far, and it was enough to get me fucking pumped, So this is the...
That was in the Devolver one, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah. So E3 Devolver, one trailer, and it's in number 6. Let's go. So it's inspired by Kurosawa films similar to Ghost of Tsushima. However, this is a different sort of game. It's not like I guess it's 2.5D would be the thing. But it's got a stunning like black and white art style. It's doing your typical sort of samurai film story. It looks where, someone loses their family or something and then sort of goes on a revenge quest or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a combination of the art style with they've got like the cinematic, like the burn, like it looks like it's a film. They're going for this whole, like saying it's a 1940s, 1950s film at the same time. It looks really, really good. I love these sorts of style art, the movies that inspired it and everything. So yeah, I'm super, super keen on this. I hope it looks comes out as good as everything in this trailer built it up to be, because that trailer was just so good when it dropped that 6 months later or however long, I'm sitting down to do a list and without even having to track down and be reminded of it, I'm like, Track to Yomi, baby, let's go. Actually, I had to Google, I'm like, was that game announced for 2022? And it said yes on their website, so yes. I was like, yes. I'm in. Kieran, what's your next pick?
Hopefully something we've seen at the Video Games Awards by this time, but it is Lord of the Rings Gollum. I think this is a really interesting title to come out. I think hopefully it's something that is so different from the normal Lord of the Rings content we get, with the main character not being some heroic warrior. This game should be a lot more stealth-based, a lot more story-driven, a lot more kind of maybe a bit more close and personal as a story. I'm really looking forward to it. I do really, really hope there is a trailer at the Video Game Awards. I'd be a little bit worried about this game's chances for 2022 if it's not there. But I think it is such a different direction for the Lord of the Rings franchise in terms of the video game space. And I'm really excited to see, just how it plays and what the overall audience reception is to it, because I think it is definitely a bit of a curveball in terms of characters to go with for a Lord of the Rings video game.
Ash, do you have any interest in this?
It's not on my list, but it was definitely like, oh yeah, that's a game that's coming out. Obviously, it's been long in development. We've known about it for a long time. But yeah, hopefully trailer soon so we can get a bit more of a look. Hopefully it just isn't Gollum running around grabbing fishes, eating raw fish.
Well,
Gotcha fish.
On the video version of this podcast, you'll see I showed some of the gameplay overview trailer they released in July. So that does show some glimpses, which is mostly Gollum sneaking around, platforming, climbing on things. I don't think there's any combat scene in it or whatever, but it gives you an idea of what the game is, which I guess mostly will be a stealth adventure game, which makes sense given Gollum. But yeah, it looks good. Looks like it looks okay. Like no, it looks good. Like it doesn't look bad. I just hope that some of those, like I want some of that Middle Earth scenery to really pop out and be like super impressive when playing it. But yeah, this isn't on my list anywhere. It's not on my honorable mentions, but I am definitely I am keen to learn more about it and potentially get excited about it for sure. Ash, what's next on your list?
We are OFK. The behind the music look at this indie pop band OFK, looking at the trials and tribulations of success and making music and coming together. All the trailers we've seen so far have looked pretty cool and interesting. I'm keen to check out whatever story they want to tell me. With all the hip music and drama.
The hip
all the
music and
drama. Yeah, that's what the kids want these days. Hip music and drama.
Yeah, this is in my honorable.
That's why Riverdale is such a big thing.
It's true. This is in my honorable mentions. Really great art style. In general, I'm just super aboard the concept. Doing the whole making a band, making real music, and then making a game that's about that band's life. It's such an interesting project that combines so many different sorts of elements of mediums and stuff. So I'm really keen to see more about this as well, for sure. My number 5 was Horizon Forbidden West, so that's where that falls in my list. Yeah. So I don't want to insert something here. I'll just do my honorable mentions later. So let's just go. Kieran, what's your next pick?
Oh,
me already. I think going to Xbox and specifically Bethesda within Xbox, Starfield. I think is another one of those most anticipated games for the coming year because nobody knows what the fuck this game is still. I think I read an article or watched a video the other day that included the word realistic space travel for this game, and I was very fucking confused instantly about what exactly that meant. This game is such an enigma. It's so strange that it's coming out next year. But it's exciting. I'm really excited for this new direction for Bethesda under Xbox. I'm glad that Bethesda has stuck to their guns and is going to keep their games on Xbox and not be going over across the forbidden door of video games. And I'm interested just to find out more about this game. I'm sure at E3 this will be the central jewel of the Bethesda conference inside Microsoft. So I'm really looking forward to what more comes of it, and seeing how the fuck this game actually plays, because it's going to be interesting.
Is this on your list at all, Ash?
No, it's not going to PlayStation Station. It's dead to me.
It didn't make my list anywhere either, because I just don't feel like there's been anything to get me excited, and I don't feel like I have, and Bethesda don't really deserve my faith. Just given at this stage. Like they're running off a last
Bethesda Game Studios,
yeah, Bethesda Game Studios, not like maybe them not as actual game development, not them as a publisher. It's just their last few games have all come out mess. So like I feel like they've got to earn back a little bit of my like to get excited about the game. So
yeah, we'll look forward to playing it in 2023 once they fix everything.
Yeah. What's your next pick, Ash?
My next pick, Redfall, the next game coming from Arcane Studios.
Is that why you wanted to clarify the Bethesda Game Studios, not Bethesda publisher?
I mean,
Bethesda Softworks is fine. Bethesda Game Studios.
No, I knew exactly what I was doing. Yeah, this looked really fun trailer. Looks like it's going to be a fun co-op adventure in which you fight vampires with a bunch of quirky characters. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe scratch that itch that maybe Back 4 Blood didn't for certain people. Yeah, team up together and slaughter vampires.
Yeah, well,
instead of zombies.
This was not on my list and it's not on my honorable mentions, but I will say I have a lot more interest in this than Starfield. Because the developer is.
But Arcane, obviously that I really enjoyed Deathloop, so they've got goodwill.
Yeah, Arcane has a little bit more goodwill, I feel like, with most people than Bethesda Game Studios. Yeah, for sure. My number 4 is a game that I'm still hoping is coming out in 2022. They would relate it. Volcano High. So, talking about games with feelings, I guess, like it's literally a high school game, and it's just about dating and life and stuff. I don't know that they stopped to rewrite it or something, but I'm presuming it's still going to keep the same. Like it's not going to like completely change everything, I presume. But yeah, I don't know. Dinosaurs, dating, high school life, drama, depression. I don't know. Like, what's not
probably in a band as well.
Yeah, I don't know. There's probably a band in here. This all I know is like from the moment this first trailer dropped, I was like, yes, give it to me now. Inject it into my veins.
I agree, but it's funny the similarities of this is just like Dinosaur Life is Strange, right? And instead of a giant tornado or whatever the first game had,
it's a meteorite coming down.
It's a fucking meteor coming to wipe out all.
Yeah, but this is based on real life.
Yeah, completely accurate to real life.
How are we to say that this didn't actually happen prior to the? Like who's to say? Scientists? What do they know?
Well, they know that
the meteorite destroyed all these books. They all got burned up.
They all got burned up.
Fire.
There's no sign of any buildings or anything.
Have you ever wondered what came first?
Or is there? What do you call Stonehenge?
I call it a concert area where dinosaurs play.
Looks like some sort of library or something, potentially one time.
Goodbye Volcano High, also based on true story. Also a game that I hope releases in 2022. And I believe is going to come in 2022. And it's going to teach me a lot about history that high school didn't teach me.
History that they don't teach you in school.
It's the true history that they don't teach in school, yeah.
It's on the old Game Pass, isn't it?
This game?
I don't think so.
No, it was announced for PlayStation. So I don't know.
It was announced at PlayStation. So
I thought it was announced at Xbox. I see. That's disappointing.
I mean, it might be on Xbox too. I don't
know why it would be disappointing.
Bit disappointing.
Don't like paying for things.
No, I don't. That's why I pay for a subscription.
What's next on your list, Kim?
Next on my list, to follow up, something that predates Volcano High. As I just mentioned it, the Life is Strange remaster, gracing consoles and PCs in the coming months. For me, this is just like good homey food. This is just comfort.
Homey?
It's going to be a nice...
Homely? Homey.
Homey, yeah, that's what I said. I said homey.
Homies.
H-O-M-E-Y. Leave me alone. It's not I-E. Jesus. No, I just think I'm really excited for a weekend to just chill out and play Life is Strange again. Enjoy it with updated graphics, upgraded Hopefully they've tinkered with some of the stuff inside of it. Maybe added another D&D event of some kind. But, I think Life is Strange is one of my favorite games of all time.
Did Wavelengths come out already?
No.
Wavelengths has been out. I still haven't played
it did. That's right. Sorry.
It did. It came out September 30th. It came out the month after. I just didn't go back to it yet. So I do have that to play when I feel like some Life is Strange prior to Remaster.
Your D&D mention reminded me.
Yes. Yep.
Ash, what's next?
Talked about a lot of them. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Looks like a throwback to like the old arcade machine versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fighting against all these crazy things. The sprites, it just looks beautiful. Like it just looks beautiful. It's like what I want from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. You know, to play as any of them, plus April, like beat them up, beat Shredder, and the foot. You know, looks like it'll be a good time, a good co-op experience.
Yep, and Michelangelo's going to get banned in all esports play and competition.
Do they do esports for these types of games?
I don't get that reference.
That's the character that got banned in Nickelodeon fucking All-Stars Brawl.
Did they actually ban him from... Oh, they did too, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to be
Yeah, because you could infinite
the character
spin
was
with
too
him.
broken. He had an infinite juggle,
Yeah.
so you could just, you never lost.
Not to date this anymore, but did you see that Garfield's being added to that game?
Yep.
He's Chris Pratt. Wait, no, there's no voice actors in that game.
No, it's not Chris Pratt.
Yeah, there's no voices in the game.
Voices in the
game. But don't worry, Chris Pratt is voicing Garfield in some special.
Yeah, don't worry.
Don't worry about Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Let's not worry about old Chrissy Pratt. He's fine. Now that he's got the right family for him. With children that he's okay with. I'll never not think that's fucked up and worth joking about. I'm excited for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge as well. Like not only because TMNT, but also just because the developer Dotemu, however you say the name, they did that Street Fighter, Streets of Rage 4.
I was going to say they did Streets of Rage 4.
They did Streets of Rage 4, which I think I put on my top 10, or it was like slightly out of last year. Like it was one of those games.
No, I think it was in your top 10. I remember it being there.
You got a pretty high score from memory.
Yeah, I got it. Like that was one of those games that came out left field. Like I downloaded it on Game Pass or whatever. I was like, I'll play. Like, let me just play this half an hour. Next second, I just played for the whole game and ended up doing a few sessions. It was fucking good shit. It was really, really good shit. So
should have gone back and bought it on PlayStation.
Yeah,
give the developer all your money.
But I probably wouldn't have played it if it wasn't on Game Pass. Ash is the thing.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you should buy the game after.
Is this the first time you're hearing about Streets of Rage 4 from Dylan and how much you liked it? Do you have Xbox Game Pass right now? Go download
this
it.
This is a Final Fantasy. You can't just turn everything into a cult.
Is it still on Game Pass though?
I presume so.
You know, because things always leave Game Pass.
No, I presume it is.
Yes, because there is so much stuff on Game Pass it can't contain everything.
Then buy it if you haven't missed it on Game Pass.
You never have it forever. Just like that's why you should keep buying physical media.
No, but you get a discount on the game with Game Pass if you want to buy it and own it forever.
My next game.
Why do you keep having guns?
The next
finger guns.
The fourth. What am I up to? 4? No, 3. Number 3 on my list is a cat game called Stray.
Yes.
Yes.
So this was a game when they announced it and was like, that looks cute, that looks awesome. Probably gameplay will be boring or weird or like maybe it's a puzzle game. Who even knows? Because it was just like a cinematic thing. And then they put out the gameplay trailer or the actual gameplay footage and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's like a full adventure game type thing where you're exploring this city where there's no humans or actually there's no life. What do you call like real life? No, what's the word? I can't remember the word. Like non-synthetic life or whatever the actual word for that is. And the cat, I think, is the only thing
artificial life?
No, like normal life. Normal life. Everyone else is robots, I think, is how this world works now. So it's like the cat's the only like living thing left. Not to say the robots aren't alive. I don't. Anyway, we're getting into weird. Yeah, organic. That's the word. There's no organic life apart from the cat left, I think. So, but yeah, it looks really, really pretty. Obviously, the cat's really cool. It's got this little robot thing at its back. That's awesome. If you're watching the podcast video, here's my favorite moment from the gameplay where the cat rubs up against this robot and the hardy eyes and enjoys it. Yeah, but I'm very, very keen. Cute cat. Gameplay looks cool. Futuristic world. I'm sure there's some dark secrets happening, but yeah, it just looks like a really good time and unique game doing something different and I mean, it's being published by Annapurna, so that's kind of what they do. But I forgot fucking this part in the trailer. These fucked up critters show up in the subway or whatever. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, I'm really, really keen. Ash, you excited for this too?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to play as a cat. But yeah, it seems like it'll be a cool puzzle and story to figure out what happened to everybody and like how this cat fits into everything and why it's alone, destined to die by itself.
Wow,
the last living creature.
Good job. Really took it home
Yep.
on the dark level there. Kieran, you excited for this?
Yep, you're welcome.
I am very excited for this. I think Cherie is a very unique and interesting concept, and I'm just from the gameplay we've seen of this game, looks like it's going to be enthralling. I'm incredibly looking forward to just how great this game's going to be.
What's next on your list?
Next on my list is we're scraping the bottom of the barrel because I'm saving the most important thing for my last bit.
I mean, that's how my list works too, so that's fine.
Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song.
Really?
I was unsure if I was going to talk about this because I have no fucking hope for this game. I'm excited for it just because of based off the fact that it is Vampire the Masquerade. I think this game's been it's been in the works for a lot of time. I think a lot of it is gonna be held up in does the game run? I can see this game being like a really bad kind of low-level version of the Cyberpunk fiasco. So, this game could get delayed again. Hopefully it's good. I think it has the basis there and the potential there to be good. It's just all in the execution and how they pull it off in the end.
Ash, do you like vampires?
Is this which one of these Masquerade games is this? This is the Battle Royale?
No,
this is the actual mainline one.
Is this the one with like the dodgy character models?
Is there a mainline one? Is there
technically a mainline? I thought this was the single player roleplay RPG one.
It is a single player one.
I think you're right. I'm just like making you doubt yourself.
No, I think this is, and then they've only recently added Swan. Oh well, no, sorry, it's not number 2, but it's another.
Yeah, isn't there a number 2 one?
There's a number 2 which isn't released, but Swan Song is like a middling version of that. Unless this is the mobile game, then I'm going to take it out of my list because fuck mobile games.
No, this is
once again Kieran's research.
It's not a mobile game. It's a real game. I don't know if you're like.
I was thinking about it as it was Bloodlines 2, but still, it's Swan Song. It's still Vampire the Masquerade. I still think it's got a lot of potential to it. In its basis, I just hope it plays well and actually shows that there is potential and reason for them to carry on doing Bloodlines 2 with all of its delays and
everything. Ash, what's the next game on your list?
I'm going to go with Nobody Saves the World. So this is the latest game from Drinkbox Studios, the people behind Guacamelee. This is another game that definitely reminds me of like Binding of Isaac, the top-down roguelike, also almost element, which play a person who has this ability to change different forms. So you can mix and match abilities and like shoot stuff up and shit. So yeah, looks like a lot of fun. Yeah. Good pedigree, cute art style, in my opinion.
This is on my short list too, and hopefully I'll have tried it out by the time you're listening to this, because there is actually a demo up now or by in the next couple of days. Part of like Xbox is doing a little demo event thing that's going to, I guess, kick off around the time to run through to like just before Christmas, I think. So there will be a demo available to play for this either now or before. Anyway, it's definitely up by the time you're listening to this. So. Right. I was fucking. Where are we getting to? What are we up to? 2 on my list, right?
I'm guessing it's 2.
Yeah. It's the second last 2 on my list is Elden Ring. So that's where Elden Ring fell in for me. Kieran, what is the number one thing you're most excited for in 2022?
Everything else I've talked about, everything else these jackasses have talked about, just throw it out the fucking window. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker is here, and that means there's plenty of content on the way. There's going to be patch 6.1, where Australians finally get motherfucking servers, and we're going to have no more button misses, no more lag issues. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be the cream of the crop. It's an MMO. MMOs have well, they kind of built on, even though there's the main story, and that has wrapped up the game's main story since the start of it in A Realm Reborn, all the way back in 2013, 2014. Everything after this point should be brand new content, setting up for the new story. Yoshi P, the game's director, has said that, you know, the work done in Endwalker, not just in the story, but also in the background, is setting Final Fantasy XIV up for 10 more years of content. Ash is smiling because he's like, damn, this sounds like a fucking cult
yeah, sounds like a cult speech.
Because it fucking is. This game's great. Did you know there is a free trial that has so much content in it? You should go and inject it straight into your veins.
I'd actually like to coach you, Ken. It's not a trial. You can just play the game for free up to level 60.
Well, it's still called a free trial.
Wow, what pretty shitty cult member. I can't remember the...
It's called a free trial, man. Just fucking shush. But yes, no, it is fantastic. I'm really excited about Endwalker. I'm really bullish. Definitely worth it to play it. Ashley and Dylan are going to join me because they told me before the podcast they totally have the time to invest into this game and to play it.
I'll be playing Final Fantasy the Madness next year, and it's all about chaos.
Fuck.
Is there any chaos in this game? No. Fuck it then. I don't care about it.
No, it's too much law and order in this game.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Bullshit.
I don't know this shit. Ash, what's the last game you've mentioned? Have you saved your favorite to last? Because, I mean, Kieran didn't order his,
I haven't.
but he at least...
No, I just... Nobody was going to take his,
funny,
so, I mean...
That's true.
I thought it would be funny if I saved it to
Imagine if I, like, just to be an absolute ass at, like, number 5, I'm like, Final Fantasy, I mentioned it first.
For my last one, I'm gonna, Broken Roads, Australian developed game set in the Australian post-apocalypse, narrative RPG with strategic like combat, turn-based combat. We've talked about it over at exposurenetwork.com. We've had interviews with people. It's long been in development, long been on people's radars, trying to tackle like meaningful philosophical choices and like lots of interesting ideas that hopefully all come together. So yeah, definitely keen to check this one out. Hopefully comes out 2022. No rush though, guys. Take your time.
In my honorable mentions as well, yeah. So if for some reason you've missed this game, it's literally the first. Imagine Fallout 1 and 2, but it's in Australia.
It's Australian.
Like that's sort of it's a redundant way of explaining it. Maybe the developers like drop there a bit more like, hey. But I mean that's the easiest way, I guess, to get people excited about it. But yeah, in my honorable mentions as well, number 1 on my list should, I presume, come at no surprise. It's Gran Turismo. No, Joe. It's fucking Bayonetta 3. Come on. What are you doing?
Dylan, we're talking about 2022 games.
Yeah, not 2023 games, mate. That's just,
Kieran, that's a little bit ambitious, I think.
Oh, we say 2024?
I think it's TBA.
Yeah, what happens before Bayonetta 3? Bayonetta 3 doesn't come out.
Shut the hell up. I'll let you talk about Final Fantasy. Interrupted. I'll let all you shut the fuck up. I'm excited. I've been really pumped for this game for like however many years. I love Bayonetta 1, love Bayonetta 2. I've been really excited since they revealed this at the, it was revealed initially at the Game Awards. Imagine if I got another trailer a couple days ago. Imagine how excited I would have been. I'm sure I was very excited when that happened. Because
no way they do 2 trailers.
The last trailer we got for this was sort of a troll trailer. It didn't really show that much. Obviously, they were like, oh, look, it's fucking Astral Train or some shit. And then they're like, no, it's actually Bayonetta. She's here. Let's go. New haircut.
Hey, remember, we make these games.
New voice show. It's a whole thing. Let's go. But yeah, I kind of want to, it makes me want to replay this second one because I've only played through that one once. Where I've done the first game, like, I think I've done the first game 3 times. So, yeah, and I've only done...
It's a Switch exclusive, right?
That's the problem. Yeah, it's a Switch exclusive. So it's literally the only game I ever finished on the Wii U. And I basically brought a Wii U... I mean, I did. I brought a Wii U to play Bayonetta 2. So that just shows that I cared enough about the franchise to play it at that stage. But yeah, that's
how dedicated you were.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a hardcore like Devil May Cry person or whatever else. But this, as far as like these types of games go, this is the one that played. It was like super anime as fuck, over the top ridiculousness, but Bayonetta and all the characters are just so. It has like a weird, like you enter this jazz club and this dude, he sells you guns. Like there's just so much weird shit in it. For whatever reason, the whole franchise clicked with me. It's Angels vs Demons shit. I don't know, some weird crap going on, but yeah, I'm super excited for this. This is. Maybe I've memed myself into being so excited about it over the years. I don't even know at this stage, but it's definitely, I feel like it is, if anyone else go, what game is Dylan most excited about? It is a meme on this show, but it's also the truth that if I had to pick something I'm most excited about at this stage, it would be this. It's the only trailer that's come out in like 24 months that I've actually got like shocked by and got excited by, whereas every other trailer I've just been like, cool, excited to play that, sure.
Well, it's okay, Dylan. Even if the game doesn't come out next year, I bet like she'll randomly get added into Fortnite.
No, never. That sounds horrible. I don't want that to be a thing. This part in the trailer.
I mean, it would make more sense because she used guns, right?
She has guns on her legs. She has guns on her arms. She has guns everywhere. It's fine.
Wait, she has guns on her legs, not guns on her feet?
Yeah, I mean feet. Yeah, I mean technically they're like.
I mean,
next
feet
to
are part of your legs.
The party legs. So.
Don't diss feet like that. Come on.
Yeah. Hopefully, I've got enough trailer. I don't know, but. That is my most anticipated game. How many do I have left? I've mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got like 6 left here. I haven't mentioned in my honorable mentions. Like Ash, do you have any that I know you just apparently copied the whole of Wikipedia? But is there any actually want to like honorable mention?
Yeah. So I've got 2 left on the list, so I might as well say them. Okay. Somerville, which is obviously from some of the people who worked on Limbo and Inside, follows a family like in the post-apocalyptic, but it's from like an alien invasion and like following them along as they try and survive together in the alien invasion. I guess that looked really cool. And then the other one was Midnight Fight Express, which is I think it was shown at Gamescom, definitely something Jeff Keighley related.
It was again, Gamescom,
it's like a old school brawler. All done by one person, but like the sprites and everything look really pretty and impressive. So, yeah, those are the 2 honorable mentions. Can't believe I had 21 games on my list, and we've covered 19 of them in the top 10. So,
bam.
There's a bit of variety. Like, how many crossovers? I had 2 crossovers, so at least I had 8. I had 8 that weren't crossovers, so that's pretty good. I feel in my top 10.
We had a fair amount of crossover.
Yeah. Because we didn't have a top 10. That's why. Yeah, didn't skip some.
It's fucked up. Karen, is there anything that you haven't mentioned that you'd like to shout out? Or
the only thing I have left, I don't think is coming out, which is Hellblade. I, for whatever reason, just don't believe that game comes out next year, and it's probably going to be another year away.
Look, if
I hope it does.
I mean, there could be a trailer.
I hope it did get announced. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they drop a trailer and they announce a game for 2022, it definitely would be on my list. However, at the stage of recording, it's a game that's announced without even a rough release date. It's a game that's a thing. All right, so running down my list, just some quick shout outs. No order to this, but Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. I really, really like the first game. I'm like, even though I had some problems with the general way the gameplay flowed, the narrative and everything was super interesting. I'm hoping the sequel can tie things up, do it a lot neater, especially after they've had a bit more time to develop a few other games since then. Wayward Strand, shout out to another Aussie game, like taking place on a hospital blimp in the sky. Obviously been excited for that one since it was revealed. Played demo for it, all that sort of stuff. So that's good. I think they did, like, they put out a press release, like, thing saying it's coming 2022 officially, so hopefully earlier than later. That would be good. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, that is a 2022 game at some stage. I don't know when, if, when, where, why, but it did get a 2022 release date. I've never finished any of the Stalker games. However, they're games that I played by myself. I played at my friend's house. I don't think anyone I know ever finished those games and everyone just died to like poisoning or like, no, that was just way too hard. Hopefully I'll be able to play this one. It seems a little bit more accessible, but that world is sort of, I don't know. For anyone who's played those games, it just, there's something sort of special or whatever you want to call it about it. Just the absolute bleak darkness that franchise had. So I'm keen for that, especially now it's coming to Xbox and you don't have to have like the best PC ever, because the originals were like super hardcore PC bro games, I guess, to a degree. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So this is a 3D Kirby game. We haven't had one in a while. Kirby like washes up on a beach or something.
Kirby Last of Us, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like Kirby literally rocks up and there's a giraffe in the trailer and like there's no one else to be found. It's like, what the hell's going on? So looks really, really good. Can't wait to go on that adventure with Kirby. I'm excited for that. Replaced, that is the Cyberpunk 2.5D side-scrolling, whatever you want to call it. Looks really, really beautiful. Combination of gameplay. I've talked about before how I just think that game's taking a very cinematic approach to everything. It's by doing these small tweaks between the music and the way the camera's like sort of moving and shaking in between the gameplay and the cinematic trailers and all this sort of thing. So that's really interesting. Can't wait for that. And then in my games as service or whatever round out, I'm excited for more Apex Legends updates, of course. Excited for hopefully to see Knockout City continue to get some more updates and maps and balls and whatever else. And hopefully that game can continue to go through to 2022 with a bunch of updates. And then I'm excited to see Halo Infinite grow, the multiplayer portion grow over the next year and see what they can do to sort of pull that all together into a much better, but like I'm really enjoying it as it is now, but hopefully by the time we reach the end of next year, it'll be like, wow, every other year, part of the first one, like at the moment, they're on the Heroes of Reach year one thing, the first season battle pass, which ends in like February or something like that. So I'm hoping by the time we get around to that second season or the first, I think it's season 0 technically or whatever, but hopefully the time we get around to the next stuff, it's like, yes, they've fixed all the stuff that everyone on Reddit's losing their fucking mind over. Hopefully the battle pass is a lot better. Hopefully you've got the ability to pick more modes you want to customize and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm really keen to see how that game grows. But also, aside from the multiplayer portion, I'm keen to see how and what they announce for the single player side. So even though we're not talking about it here, of course, if you want to read my review for Halo Infinite, you can play the game now. Explosion.com. But it's really interesting where they've set that up because they have said in interviews and stuff, they're like, Halo Infinite is sort of like the multiplayer and the single player are apparently this thing that they're going to build upon now. So I'm going to be keen to see what they announce to build upon Halo Infinite single player, be that expansions, DLC, like adding another area, adding more missions into there. I don't know how you do a games of service type thing with the multiplayer and single player at the same time, but it sounds like that's what they're going to try to do instead of rushing out to do a Halo 8 or whatever the fuck the next one would have been.
Well, this isn't Halo 7. This is Halo Infinite.
Yeah, well, technically it's the 7th or whatever you want to like call it, but apparently they're not doing numbers or a sequel. They want to build upon this one for the foreseeable future. So I don't know exactly what that means. So I'm keen to find out at least more about that. So they are my honorable mentions. And that's everything we're excited about coming in 2022. I'm sure. Yes.
How many of those games are we actually going to play?
I'll play everything in my top 10 for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like, because I have ordered mine, and there's no way I'm not going to, like, I'm going to play all that.
Okay.
Honorable mentions, I would say I'll play all that too, to be honest. I don't feel like anything I've listed here I won't play. Some of the stuff maybe I've said I'm excited about the years I mentioned that I'm like keen or whatever. Maybe 50-50.
What I'm saying is, how much time are we going to have, and how much are we going to have to prioritize stuff?
Let me go down. Bayonetta 3. I'm going to drop everything.
You sure you're going to play that?
Elden Ring. Drop everything. Stray. I don't know if I need to drop anything. It seems like it's only going to be like a 6-hour game shortly. I need to. No, it's not. Goodbye Volcano High. For sure. Again, I don't feel like that would be too long. Horizon Forbidden West, if you're not playing that, like, come on. Am I really hosting a PlayStation podcast? Track to Yomi, come on. It'll be like a 4 to 6 hour game.
Yeah, okay.
Pokemon Legends Arceus, come on. Play that at work, it's fine. Tunic, play it. Get really angry because it gets really hard. Stop playing it. Call of the Lamb.
It's on the Switch, Kieran.
Yeah. Suicide Squad's killed the Justice League. I don't know. Suicide, honestly, if I had to pick one game in my top 10 that has a chance of being dropped or me not playing it, it would actually be Suicide Squad. If only because in the lead up, if there's a bunch of previews and stuff where people are like, oh, it's like not what you think it is, or like it's more this type of game or something, and then I'm like, maybe I'm not excited. I don't really know. Maybe not.
So, if it turns out to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, maybe then I'm like, I don't know.
Then I'll be like, yes, please.
Yeah.
But then, so that makes sense though, Dylan, because Suicide Squad was your number 10, so it makes sense that is the
one.
The least anticipated game of the lot.
Yeah. And then even in my honorable mentions, I'm like, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, excited. It totally could be one of those games that I buy, play for 3-4 hours, something else comes out after review, and I stop playing it. But I'm still keen to play it. Was the question, will I play it or will I finish it? Because I feel like there's a different sorts of ways of looking at it. But yeah. That's it. Again, in case you weren't paying attention, this is the last podcast from us live or recorded in the month of December for 2021. Next week's podcast again is that extended version of our PAX 2021 online episode. In case you missed that when it aired, which I assume a lot of you did, which is fine. You will now get
it only played for one very specific hour in the middle of the day.
Specific time in the hour of the day, and I chose to be completely like, nah, fuck you, I'll make everyone wait. It's fine. Also, it gives me a perfect podcast to keep in my back pocket when we reach this time of the year, and I've done that, and it's a great success. So that's what next year's will be. So there'll be some like stuff in there, jokes, I guess, that are a little bit out, but I think mostly it's like, because we're answering questions and talking about stuff, I think it's pretty evergreen. So
there'll be a lot of Chris Bradshaw.
No.
No, I think it was before.
I think it was before, so it's fine.
I hope so.
Other than that, our best of games coverage will kick off starting from the 2nd of January, and they'll run through to the end of the week. You'll get an episode of Arcade Couch where we'll just be discussing, as per every year, we'll be discussing what we pick as best game of 2021.
Hey Dylan, what is it?
I have no idea at this stage. That's not even a lie. Put me under a fucking lie detector test. I have no fucking clue. But other than that, make sure you check out explosionnova.com. I presume I haven't set this up at the stage, but I presume it's going to be explosionnova.com/best of 2022 because you'll find everything, including movies, TV, and game stuff. So make sure you check all that out as well. And coming back on the 17th is when you'll get back to 17th of January is when you'll get back to normal, regularly weekly episodes of Arcade Couch. 17th is presumably just going to be like, hey, what have we been playing? And then also I want to do our personal best 2021 games list. However, it's going to be nothing like the official list because we're going to be able to pick whatever. So if you played something from that released on the PS1 and that was one of your best things you played throughout the year, you're allowed to pick that. Can pick Final Fantasy as his top game, and that's 100% what he's going to pick, but that's fine. You can just pick the entire game. He doesn't have to pick the DLC. There's no like rules. Pick whatever you want to pick. That's how we're going to do that. So until then, have a happy holidays, happy new year, all that sort of stuff, because I'm not going to record and add that into the episode for next week. I hope the Game Awards was good. I don't know. It's weird to say bye now considering we've got to record another episode. We'll talk about that in a day. But yeah, happy holidays, happy new year. See you all next year. Bye.
Look, listener, it's just me and you here, Dylan. Actually, they're gone. They're not here. If you're watching the video version, they're not here. Stop looking at them. Look, if you start playing Final Fantasy over this holiday period, that free trial, you decide that you want to jump in, hit me up. I'll give you my recruiter code and we'll get some stuff together, you know? See you then.
You're done with your Charles Manson bullshit.
I say like a really nice thing, like have a great holidays and New Year, and you're out here fucking like trying to use your fucking 10% off code to get a fucking
trying to get your pyramid scheme going.
Pyramid scheme, fuck Final Fantasy. Oh, Jesus Christ.